Let's get our EJD construction report going. Omar Kelly will join us in 30 seconds.
The Big O Radio Show is home for the hardcore Dolphins fan. That's why we give you Omar Kelly twice a week. Buckle up. It's time for the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show.
All righty. There we go. The man, the myth, the legend. It is Omar Kelly, baby. Follow him on Twitter at Omar Kelly. Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
Good morning. And I heard what you just said about Preston Williams and the Christian Wilkins theory that people had about Christian injuring Preston. We've said it and reported it. Nobody believes it. No, and I'm glad Preston
at least did it, but he tweets out about Dogecoin every day practically.
I don't even know what Dogecoin is. But
so what 0-1, all right? We're already 0-1 because I was going to ask all three of our guests today if you're invested or on the crypto market because it's exploding. And I think I'm 0 for 3 today. I think none of you do it. Not you, not Manny, not Ira. I'm going out on a limb on that. But Dogecoin is a meme coin, right? And he's a monster fan of it. Actually, you should probably get to know a little Dogecoin and find out because that's a conversation breaker for you there with him. Anyway, but he's tweeting out about it constantly. So why not just tweet out, "Hey folks, calm down. Wilkins didn't injure me," and that's it. We would have dropped it at that point. That's all I'm saying.
I don't disagree with you. I don't think we'll drop it, even though he said it didn't happen. That's not. We won't drop it. Preston's gonna say. Preston's been saying I'm innocent for like nearly half a year now, and people are just people have their own theories. This is just gonna be something that lasts forever in Dolphins lore. Remember when Preston Williams injured his foot? Celebrating with touchdown with Christian Wilkins, that people just are gonna think whatever they want to think, and I'm glad. I'm glad he addressed it, and
sure.
But here's the thing, and this is where the conspiracy theorists get their juice from. Even if it did happen, nobody would tell you that it happened.
Right? Yeah.
Not that I believe that it did happen, because I don't.
Right. Yeah, no, but yeah, and I would imagine even if the coach talked to him, said, let's keep it between us because then people get out of control with it and all that. And if Wilkins has a bad day, they're going to bring that up too. You know what I'm saying? And things like that.
It's and they do talk to these players. They sit there and they give them a 5-minute spiel about things they're going to be asked about and what you should say, which annoys the crap out of me. Because players generally feel like they can't be authentic in themselves, which is why I kind of hate not being in the locker room, because we can just have regular casual conversations and everything isn't on the record and everything isn't in front of a camera and you get to know guys. But yeah, they're on the Patriots program, which is Landon Roberts basically stands up in front of us for 5 minutes and says absolutely nothing.
Right.
And that's a victory. They won, They view that as a victory.
Yeah, no, of course. I mean, it's kind of be the enigma, and then we have to then decipher the whole thing and try to figure everything out.
And the funny thing is, since we're on this wavelength, I find Brian Flores' press conferences usually annoying, and not to say and understand. I've covered a lot of coaches, as you know. I've covered a lot of coaches. Mm-hmm. He's in the Cam Cameron territory of just meaningless, uninformative, deceit, lies, and that's the one thing I hate. And I understand he's lying about injuries. It is what it is. These are coaches. He thinks it's giving him some sort of advantage in the media. But yesterday, he was exactly who I hoped he would be on a daily basis, where insightful, storytelling, sharing a thought process, human, funny, made jokes, and he tries to make jokes from time to time. And what I hope that the new media director, is getting him to understand is, hey, it's not us you're sitting there talking to, or us you're sitting there answering questions. View us as a conduit for your fan base.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
No, it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. You want utopia, and that's not.
I don't want utopia. I just want, like, tell a story every once in a while. The story told about Matt Ryan. It's a great story. Try to get us another story from him.
Okay, but that story has nothing to do with the Dolphins. That's why
I don't care if you tell a story about something that has nothing to do with Dolphins.
I know, but I think we've gotten to a point, unfortunately, that coaches and some players, they don't want to get to the point where they're human and they connect with you, because then we end up taking advantage of that relationship.
What?
And then after, well, let me give you an example. Dave Wannstedt was the nicest guy in the world.
Mm-hmm.
The nicest guy in the world. One of the best human beings you will ever cover on the planet is Dave Wannstedt. But when things aren't going well on the field, then they start to use that nice guy shit against you, and they turn it on you. And then you, as a coach, you think
for a while, you get the benefit of the doubt.
But a very short amount of time. After that, they take advantage of you, and that's the way coaches feel. It's like, man, I gave you some insight. I helped you with the story. I helped you with this. Now you're writing this about me. And so they feel, I'm just telling you because I've been on both sides. I've watched it.
Look at Bruce Arians. Look at Mike Tomlin. Look at Andy Reid. They don't conduct themselves in that nature, and they have success.
Yeah, well, no, but Andy Reid still had the label of choker up until he got the Super Bowl. And as nice as he was, as great as he was developing teams, they kicked his ass out of Philadelphia, bro.
After how many years?
Successful coach they've ever had.
And he wasn't out of work. I remember when he was fired by the Eagles, I didn't care who the Dolphins coach was. I didn't care what the record was. I wrote, hire Andy Reid now.
Yeah.
And there's a line of people waiting for him.
Yeah, dude, Marty Schottenheimer got fired for winning 13 games one year, and he got fired.
Sometimes you run the course with a team.
It's just, I just think that they have a problem selling themselves out because they're afraid of getting burned because they've watched others get burned. I'm just telling you where the paranoia comes from. That's all.
I'm not asking him to sell himself out. This week, he clarified and explained the play caller situation, why Charlie Fry is the communication guy in the headset to Tua. And
by the way, who nailed it? Who nailed it? Who nailed it what? The Charlie Fry stuff. I broke it down for you the last time we were on. I told you what they were doing with Charlie Fry, that he's the quarterback. That he speaks to his language.
Yeah,
it's really smart. Actually,
it is really smart, and it's out the box. You explained it after a weekend of Dolphin fans losing their mind, going fucking bonkers by it. You sat and you explained it at a point where they can get it. How hard is that, Big O?
Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah.
Like literally. Everything doesn't have to be a fucking state secret. Everything doesn't have to be like, just explain things so that your fan base can understand it.
Yeah, but they're already ripping it without even knowing it. Go, oh, you got two offensive coordinators. What the hell is that?
I mean,
first of all, let's give it a chance. Maybe it works. You know what I mean? You
don't have a problem with it.
Yeah. But I think they already saw that people are writing and like, what the hell are they doing with the? And so
maybe because you explained it poorly.
Yeah.
Maybe because you didn't explain your thought process properly. Maybe because you didn't explain the values that Gotsey brings and the values that Sudsville brings. You ever try?
And the value that Charlie Fry brings.
And you ever try? Did you try? And that's part of the problem. He sits here, and I have a great deal of respect for him. I like the fact that he's an out-the-box guy. And he does it at time. When he promoted Lem, and I asked him, why Lem for the unit that you have the absolute most problem with, he gave a very thorough explanation and an example and a story. That's all I'm asking.
I know.
Like,
you would not have enjoyed covering Shula.
oh.
That was my first couple of years were his last couple of years, and I witnessed him. You know, like, wow, I didn't ask a question for a couple of months.
Really? You
yeah,
witnessed him get in people's ass?
Yeah, because I wanted to watch. I was a rookie, and
but that's how he operated. He like got in your ass.
Oh my God, did he get in your ass? If you didn't ask Shula the right way, he lit your ass up, bro.
I don't mind that.
I saw it firsthand. You know, it's like I wanted to learn how to approach this man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, at first, when I started in this business, the first month I didn't ask questions anywhere. I was just in the scrum recording just to get a feel for like what the hell, how to do this job.
As all young guys should.
Young, right? Yeah, exactly. And he was one of my first experiences, and it was like, holy shit.
But let me share a funny story with you. One of my first early jobs after I'd done some internships at Palm Beach and Sunset, I went back to Tallahassee, and I covered Florida State football for 3 years or 2 years or something like that as a correspondent for 2 papers. And I was there when I wasn't doing school, I was doing the beat work. And that meant going to practice and watching practice. And at the end of practice, talking to Bobby Bowden and reporting up what Bobby Bowden's telling you about, you know, the team on a daily basis. And I was so intimidated by those media members who did that as a real job and felt threatened by me and didn't talk to me, didn't respect me, that I wouldn't ask a question in front of them. I would wait until they were finished, and then I'd ask my question last to Bobby after they'd gone to go do their interviews and things of that nature. Bobby Bowden saw that, and he saw how they treated me. And Bobby Bowden, every day he'd wait for me. He'd answer their questions, and then he'd say, "What you got for me, buddy?" And I'd ask him whatever I wanted to ask him. And he was one of the individuals that taught me so much about football. And at the end of our conversation, Bobby Bowden literally would drive me into the facility on his cart, and we talk. He'd say, "What you got for me, buddy? Come on, come ride with me." And we'd ride and we'd talk. And
he's a special character. He was different than
most. And I'm sure he did that because I was young and I was a student, and you know, I never shared that with people. And it you know, when we knew he was passing, I don't think people really understand how special of a human he was. Not just a coach, but Bobby cared about, like, he is forever the standard for me for a head coach, because Bobby cared about his players. They were his sons.
Yeah, he's a different guy.
When he took you out your mother's house, he was now your daddy. And he cared about you and treated you like he was your daddy. Whether you're the first string, the third string. My roommate in college was a walk-on the team, and Bobby cared about him. Bobby, when he got himself in trouble on you know, selling a stolen cell phone, Bobby didn't immediately kick him off the team, because being a walk-on was important to him. You understand what I'm saying? And Bobby felt like, this is a learning lesson for you, and I'm going to penalize you, I'm going to punish you, but I'm not going to throw you away. And there was so many life lessons that man instilled in people. He will forever be the standard for me.
Oh, yeah. No, there's no doubt. But again, everybody's different, and most people aren't like Bobby. More people are like Flores that don't give you really any information.
And I think he's a great human, by the way. I do think Flores is a great. Yeah,
of course.
I think
you can tell.
Listen, one thing I respect about Flores, and people don't give him enough credit. Name me and tell me what head coaches have the same fitness level as their players. There might be 2, Grable and Brian Flores. We're out there for position coaches press conferences, and it's 2:00 in the middle of the hot ass day in South Florida. Who's out there running around the field? doing his exercises.
Flow.
It's Brian Flores doing his sprints, the same sprints that he would ask the players to do. And he's gained 1 pound since his playing weight, since he was a player at Boston College. Like, you know how hard that is to do, Big O? You and I both know
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
struggling.
I know.
I got 15 pounds of dad weight. I'm struggling to shed. Like, and I wish I could be as inspired as Brian. Brian Flores is my inspiration.
I got 100 since college. I got 99 more than I got 99 problems more than Brian Flores.
Hey,
that's what's going on.
You've lost it, so you know how to do it.
Like three times, yeah. I got to do it again too now. It's just crazy. I've done that. I've lost 70, 80, and 55. Yeah, I've done it 3 times.
I just need to lose 15, and it's just the motivation is just. I'm so tired from the baby.
There is no motivation.
Huh?
There is no motivation.
I'm just trying to sleep, man. Sleep is my motivation. Like, go work out when you're on 4 hours of sleep. Like,
Yeah. I just think that in today's world, I think a lot of people are more like Brian. They're trying to not give you anything that they can. But at the same time, I find him to be actually sometimes a guy that does connect with you guys. He does joke around a little bit with you guys.
He tries to joke sometimes.
Yeah, dude. I mean, he just did it to Barry. Prying. That was actually really good.
Yeah.
That was actually funny.
He could have did it better. He could have been like, prying, Barry, not you. We don't pry. Like,
he's Seinfeld, bro. He's not a professional comedian. Okay?
Oh no, he's funny. His funny is passive aggressive. He's passive aggressive, which everybody has their thing. I'm sorry.
You weren't gonna get one joke out of Shula. Okay? Not one.
What about Nick?
Not one. You're not. I mean, it's almost impossible to get Nick off color, dude. It was. I mean, from when he was here, I don't know. Maybe it happened once. Maybe. I mean, he was Mr.
I heard he tell stories though.
Yes, he could tell stories. Yes. But normally in the regular game-like press conferences, he doesn't do that. It has to be during the week in practice, Doldrum Thursday or something, and then maybe you can get something out of him. Yeah. But it's hard, bro. It's hard. He doesn't leave a lot of meat on the bone. Like Riley's the smartest one I've ever dealt with, because Riley won't give you anything that you're kind of looking for, but
he'll give you what he wants to give you.
But then he gives you something else you didn't expect, and you walk out of there going, "Oh, okay, all right, I got something," Yeah. And he kind of understood the game. You know what I mean? Remember, Riley was on our side. He was a broadcaster, so he kind of understood media too.
He's also a psychology major. So
yeah. And Riley is playing chess all the freaking time, and we're playing checkers.
That to me, that's you, and not that he cares, because he doesn't care. Use us. Send a message.
Yeah.
Use us. But
Jimmy would do that too. Jimmy didn't want to give you anything.
Absolutely.
But Jimmy would then give you something. You know what I mean?
I was there as an intern with Jimmy, and I saw how Matt worked things. He's like, all right, guys, go on up in there and see the Oklahoma drill. Take a look. Right. He's used the media to inspire his players.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. Jimmy was one of those that was a hard ass, but he was fun to cover in a way, because he did give you something constantly. And plus, I will always cherish Jimmy for this as a reporter. He allowed us on the field and access of the whole field. We could go watch any drill right up close I was watching the inside drill 5 feet away, right there on the sidelines, watching that collision.
I remember I was an intern then.
Everything, and it was great as a reporter, because you were able to cover all of that.
Oh my God.
Yeah, man, I think it's just one of those things. Now let's get to a little football. Lynn Bowden Jr. was quiet in training camp, had a good game, now got injured.
Hamstring.
And that's kind of,
he wasn't getting cut. He wasn't getting cut.
So is this a guy that is headed for the PUP list eventually?
You can't put him on the PUP list once the training camp starts. Here's the thing about the new NFL rules.
Or the IR, whatever, not PUP. IR.
Here's the thing about the new NFL rules. Because of COVID, you can go on the IR and everybody can come off IR. And all you need to do is be down 3 weeks. So I could put you on IR at week 1, because what they have to do with Lynn Bowden is they'd have to keep them on their initial 53. And there are a number of guys that they're probably going to do this to. Keep him on the initial 53. The next day, when they claim 3 players, make him one of the 3 that they put on IR.
Right.
And he can come back at any point after 3 games.
Right.
But Lynn Bowden was good. While he had a disappointing camp, he had a decent game. And also, part of the reason why he has had a disappointing camp is the plays that he is good at, the stuff that is designed for him, which is also designed for Waddle, they don't use in practice. They're not showing now. So you're not seeing Lynn Bowden at his strength. You're also not seeing Waddle at his strength. Like, you can't tell me, there's nobody's going to tell you Waddle's caught a deep pass at practice because it hasn't happened.
But I saw his strength when he juked the shit out of that DB. That was beautiful, bro. He faked that dude out in a phone booth.
Yes,
because he was standing like literally in front of him and he couldn't touch him.
Yes,
that was massive.
And Lynn Bowden is the same way in terms of not the speed, but you cannot tackle it. You could be standing right in front of him. You cannot tackle him. And he's the only player on the roster. I don't know about Waddle. He's the only player on the roster that has that skill set. And you can't throw that away, even though I think he is struggling with the playbook. And he's struggling to process it and play up to the speed that he has the potential to. But you don't throw that player away. There are a lot of players you throw away. You don't throw that one away.
Okay, but just to kind of piggyback off of what you just said, if they're not running the stuff that he normally is good at, then maybe he's struggling because he's running the stuff that he normally isn't going to run.
You got to learn it, though.
Okay, no, but I'm just saying, if that's not what they're going to feature him in.
You got to learn it. Isaiah Ford knows how to run everything. He doesn't run it well, but he knows how to run everything. He knows the play. He knew the playbook better than the offensive coordinator that they fired.
Yeah, but, at this point, we have to look at Isaiah Ford like a seasoned veteran. Yeah. Seriously.
I mean, he is a seasoned veteran.
I believe this is his 4th season.
He is a seasoned veteran. But but what people don't realize is, and I'm not saying Isaiah is going to make the 53 or make the roster or whatever. He's probably another practice squad, another year where he's on and off the practice squad. He was out there unemployed and nobody hired him. Clearly there's this huge demand. And I have a lot of respect for him because
I like him, man.
When he's healthy, he makes plays. He's part of the fragile crew. He practiced for a week and then he's hurt. Yeah. But their whole unit is like that. So like, what do you say? Like, it's like 13 receivers who are fragile. Like, Dolphins are probably just gonna say, let's stick 5 of them on the IR.
It's 12. All right, Matt Collins doesn't get injured.
No, Matt Collins is first, and I said that to Hyde. I had to correct his columns. Matt Collins' first 2 years with the Eagles, he was injury prone.
Yeah, no, but not here. He hasn't been.
Not here, but he got waived because he was injured, fragile.
Okay, but
he got waived because he was Will Fuller of Philadelphia.
It's like that. What's that show that they got on that island that everybody's problems were solved? And what was the name of that show? I forgot. Lost. No, it was called Lost. Okay. And they all, like, one guy was like in a wheelchair and he started walking around and all that. It's like, this island solves all my problems. So I don't have cancer, that kind of stuff. So he's on Lost Dolphin Island and he's no longer getting injured anymore. See, there you go.
What's happened is he's trying to extend his NFL career, which once you get that reputation, you gotta, and Mac is a hustler. Mac's on the 53.
I like him. He's grown on me, man.
Mac's a tough son of a bitch.
That's what comes through.
People don't realize that. You know who also is doing well? Adam Shaheen. He's the number 2 tight end right now. He makes plays every day. And people are like, oh, he's a non-vaxxer. He's gonna be waived. He's gonna be cut. I'm like, no. Dude is to his favorite target. Like,
no. There's no way you cut him. No, it's impossible.
But I'm
Right.
just talking about the
It's
perception.
been a really
Fan base's
that's another
perception.
good move by Greer. I'm
I'm
just
talking about the fan base's perception of, you know, what reality is when they don't watch practice and they, you know, they got all the answers. And, you know, Adam Shaheen has been balling for like 2 weeks. Balling. I think he's ahead of Durham Smythe right now.
Oh, for sure. For sure. That's not even close. But Smythe you have to keep because he's the best two-way tight end.
Yeah,
you have,
absolutely.
You know, so you have no choice. Short yardage and stuff like that. You're going to end up using, you know, Smythe over. And to Smythe's credit, he has improved as a receiver. So I will give him a lot of love in that area because they talked about that last year, and the kid showed you something throughout last year, and then now, obviously, but it's a deep tight end group.
Yeah,
I mean, they put up some really good stats last year.
It's a deep tight end group. They're 5.
Yep.
They're 5. You got 5 there. You got 6 receivers. You got 4 running backs, if not 5, because Patrick Laird. I don't know how Patrick Laird is playing pretty well lately too. I don't know how you leave him off. Right. So not to say that, you know, they got a deep team, but you know, there are going to be some tough cuts, and the way the talent is on this roster, you got to claim some guys. You got to claim some offensive linemen. I'm sorry, they're going to be 32 centers cut out there. You need one of them. You need one.
Yeah. So you're cutting Skura?
Probably.
Okay. All right.
I mean, probably, and then I'll bring.
They're going to keep. Are they going to really keep 3 centers? I doubt it. Right?
No, they're not going to keep 3 centers. No.
Right.
I mean, but you go get a center that can play guard. Right. Your offensive line is probably 7 deep. You need 9. You don't have 9 on this roster. You got to go claim 2 guys. You got to do something because this shit ain't gonna fly. It's just not.
I was telling this story earlier in the week, and I wanted to kind of bring it full circle to what's going on with the Dolphins now. And you and I were standing next to each other, and Chad Pennington lines up for his first pass as a Miami Dolphin.
Were you there that practice?
You don't remember that?
I remember that practice. Down
the sideline. Maybe you remember this now after I tell you.
I remember every single thing about that practice. I just didn't know you were there.
The first pass was to Ted Ginn, and he hits him on the head. I turned to you, and I said, they got their quarterback. They'll be fine. They're going to the playoffs. I don't know if you remember that, but I was standing next to you in the bubble, and Pennington's first pass.
I don't remember that conversation, but I was like, that practice was ridiculous.
Right. And so I told you they were fine. And one of the things that I was talking about earlier in the week is that because we have these arm queens, right?
Mm-hmm.
And size queens.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That, you know, you got to be as tall as Justin Herbert and Peyton Manning.
Mm-hmm.
You got to have the arm of Jeff George and Marcus Russell.
Jay Cutler. Don't throw Jay Cutler out there. Do not throw Jay Cutler out there.
Right, a Jay Cutler. If you don't have that kind of a gun, you're not going to succeed in this league, all that crap. And I said, listen, when you look at this team, the last time they made the playoffs, they actually had a quarterback that was actually accurate and can place the ball and
anticipation.
Yeah.
And that's who he reminds me of. That's who Tua is.
Right. And my point is, whether you're Montana, whether you're Greasy, whether you're Drew Brees, whether you're Pennington, this league is littered with those kind of guys over the years that have had tons of success in this league. All right. The guys I mentioned there are going to the Hall of Fame. You know, except for Pennington, but most of those guys.
Pennington was ended his career as the most accurate quarterback in NFL history.
I know.
He's like number 2 now because I believe Kurt Warner passed him. But like, I'll take that.
I'll take accuracy and ball placement over any other feature any quarterback.
Me too. And Tua's got it. This is part of the reason I advocated for them to draft Tua. Accuracy, anticipation, and pocket presence. He has the Marino.
Oh yeah, he did it. He did it last. He did it this week when he swung one way and the other, and he's looking up and never looked at the rushers the entire time.
No, it's when people know I was a leader of the Tank for Tua campaign, and part of the reason I wanted them to suck that year because they need the number 1 pick to get draft Tua, and it was all about accuracy, anticipation, pocket presence. He didn't have the stellar arm. I knew that. Still see it.
Or
still
height.
know it.
Or
He's
height.
not durable. I know that. Still see it. Still concerns me because the offensive line is shit. But that accuracy, that anticipation, that pocket presence cannot be denied. You can watch him daily in red zone. It's touchdown, 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 touchdown. Because obviously he's facing no pressure. And all he has to do is put the ball where a defender can't get to it.
Yeah.
And his guys just got to catch it.
Matt Ryan doesn't have a gun. He has a solid arm, but it's accurate. He doesn't have a gun.
Got a bet on the Tua, but yeah.
Yeah, but it's not a gun. It's what I'm saying. Matt Ryan's lived off of accuracy too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's not a great athlete either or anything like that. He has to be a great quarterback.
I said this. I don't know if I said this to you.
Kosar didn't have a gun, and he was ugly with that sidearm throw, but he was accurate as a mofo.
Yeah. I said this to somebody. I don't know if it was you. While everybody will be obsessed about Tua's growth and development now and how Tua plays and whether Tua leads this team to the playoffs and Tua. You know when I'm going to be excited? I want to see year 4 Tua. Woo, year 4 Tua. When he's seen everything a defense can throw at him, when maybe they finally figure out how to fucking evaluate offensive lines and actually builds him something respectable. That year 4 Tua, who's seen everything a defense can throw at him, who's been in this offense for 4 years, that guy's gonna be a freak if he can hold up physically. If we don't have shoulder issues like Dak Prescott, or if his offensive line doesn't have him fucking breaking down because he's been hit like Tannehill was. Not that Tannehill, it was their fault because Tannehill had shit for pocket presence.
Yeah. He took on his own hits.
Yeah. He took a lot of those hits. Yeah. It was on him because he had no fucking feel for it.
No.
But that year 4 Tua, woo, that's gonna be a bad man.
Yeah,
and
I actually
gotta get there.
I think it'll be even sooner than that. I think it'll be around by year 3.
Year 3 he's gonna be good too. But year 4 Tua, where there ain't nothing you haven't thrown at him, and he's got a book on every defender he's faced already. Mm-hmm. Like, please, man, if that arm can hold up, because my fear is, and this is between me and you, the listeners, you're not hearing this.
Yeah, you're not listening.
You're not listening. My fear is
mute
that Austin Jackson or Solomon Kinley, they're just gonna fucking whip on a block. And that defender's going to be steamrolling from that left side.
You've given up on these guys.
Huh?
You have given up on these guys.
I never believed in them. Let's start there.
Okay. All right. Well, that's different.
And I'm talking to you long enough for you to know I've never believed in them.
Yeah. You're right.
They are average at best.
Okay.
The whole fucking lot of them.
I'm not ready to say that yet. I got to give them.
Oh my God, they are average at best. But anyway, let's. Here's my fear. Somebody's going to be steamrolling at Tua. He's not going to feel it because it's going to come so quick, and they're going to sideswipe him, and he's going to land on his shoulder, and then we're out for 6 weeks, and then we got to have labrum surgery, and then we're at Pennington arm level. That's
why can't he turn into Drew Brees after that?
No, he's supposed to be Drew Brees. He's supposed to be Drew Brees now. He's supposed to be.
But Drew Brees had a shoulder injury. Why can't we get the Drew Brees after the shoulder injury? Why do you got to do this to me?
That's my fear. That's my worst case scenario. That is the doomsday scenario for Tua. In my opinion, that's the only thing that can ruin him and prevent him from being the quarterback that he is destined to be. And that's why people don't understand why I've been on their ass about fixing this shitty ass line. Because you are going to get the quarterback hurt.
What? They're trying to fix it, dude. But it's not like it's a lack of trying.
Do more.
They spent 400 picks on it.
Do more.
I don't know how much.
Fuck all that shit. Listen, fuck all that shit. You did. I'm mad because you know what? You fucking traded Eric Flowers for a swap up of 7th-round picks. Not that he was fucking good, because he wasn't.
So then, aren't
but
you
he's better than all of the rest of them.
No, but maybe these guys will be better as they get playing time, bro.
Okay,
I
sure.
mean, they
All
haven't
right.
seen everything.
Keep selling the hope.
Robert
Hunt will be better.
I'm not ready to give up on somebody.
I didn't say you got to give up on them. I didn't say you got to give up on them.
Most of these guys came in a pandemic year. You got another new guy in Eijkenberg, and now they want to play him on the right side, which is not his normal. So he's got to learn to play.
He's going to be left guard.
Okay, but what I'm saying is the challenge of him playing on the right side is something he has to adjust to. So he's
going to be left guard. Trust me, he's going to be left guard. You can't have Solomon Kinley. Solomon is good when it comes to pass protection. He's a liability when it comes to run game. So like right now, they subbed Solomon in for this practice because they were getting their ass handed to them by Grady Jarrett. And okay, you patched the leak. But now, are you doing anything in the run game? Obviously, you're not practicing running. So I don't have the answers to you. What I'm telling you is you have 3 viable starters on your offensive line. You need 5, and you need 7 to make it through the season. You have 5 quality offensive linemen, 3 starters. Do more. Fix it.
Okay, I mean they're trying, but I gotta wait.
Try harder.
A little bit more before I start to say,
harder.
All right, guys, the guys you picked aren't getting it done. You got to go
Mark my words. They are going to ruin the season, and pray they don't ruin Tua.
I'm not ready for that. God, why so negative?
I'm just telling you. Whatever the season can be, they're the anchor holding it back.
You think there's no chance they can turn into a decent line? Seriously?
No.
Damn.
Because here's the reason why. Because you're going to take on injuries. You always do take on injuries. And then my theory has always been your line is only as good as your weakest link in it. So if Dallas Thomas is your weakest link in your line, that's the level of quality that your line is going to be.
Well,
Solomon Kinley.
Dallas is really bad.
He was. Solomon Kinley is the weakest link, is going to be the weakest link in the line, and he is not a quality NFL starter. And if you have him there, you're not going to have a quality NFL line.
Why has he struggled with technique so much? Because obviously we know he's a forceful player.
Comes from a great program. He's hovering at 340. His body, he's good at pass protection. He just cannot help you in the run game. And part of the reason he can't help you in the run game because he didn't get himself in good enough condition.
But is he good with his hands? Because in order for you to be good in the run, you got to get your hands on him so you can guide him out of a freaking play.
I cannot talk about what his technique issues are because I'm not technical. I would have to talk to an offensive line coach to really have him look over the film and tell you the technical stuff that he's doing wrong. To me, and he's got his good days. He had a good day yesterday. I actually gave him a stock up day because he made that line respectable in the second joint practice against the Falcons because they were shit the first day. If you thought Chicago beat their ass, and Chicago's a good line, Atlanta whooped that ass the first day. And Atlanta don't have a good line. It was it was an embarrassment. We're talking double-digit sacks in one practice. Like you to the point where it was a disaster. And to the point where Tua's confronting guys on the sidelines.
Right, yeah.
You cannot, and Austin Jackson rebounded and responded yesterday. I watched him pancake Fowler in one-on-ones, and that is encouraging because it shows that these guys are going to take on adversity, going to face it, and they're going to fight back, and that's good.
So then why can't they turn into a good line?
Austin Jackson is not there.
Austin Jackson is a pup, dude. He's been in the league 1 year. You're giving up on him already.
The talent level is just not there. It's okay talent level. If talent-wise, I get a better left tackle and move Austin Jackson to left guard. And then maybe I will see him maximize who he can be as a player. Okay. But he's okay. And, like people get mad and bothered when I say this. Jesse Davis is your best lineman. Is Jesse Davis an upper echelon lineman who can start for half of the teams in the league.
No.
And I love Jesse. I love Jesse. But I'm not willing to say that. So if that's your best offensive lineman, what's the rest of them?
That's crazy. No, I got you. Yeah,
Now I don't know what Liam can be. I don't know because he's got a shoulder thing. He says he's fine, but then he gets demoted the next day because Grady whooped that ass. It's.
Well, he's not a. Maybe he's not a guard. Maybe he's a tackle.
I think he's a guard.
But maybe he plays better tackle. All right, we got a super chat question here. Question for Omar. We all love your locker room interviews. What Finn, past or present, would you want to have your back in a bar fight? Please use F-bombs.
Gotta be Randy Starks, because that's the player that everybody feared. Randy Starks is a motherfucker. And Randy Starks would shoot Joe Philbin the bird from the field. Fuck you, Joe Philbin. Randy Starks wasn't scared of anybody. Randy Starks, people dug in Randy Starks' ass because he was getting in that ass. Randy Starks was a tough motherfucker now. That was a tough motherfucker. Randy Starks, I remember watching Randy Starks and Richie Incognito go at it in practice.
Oh, that's fun.
And you know who they fought over? You know who this is part of the reason why I'm such a hard critic on Jonathan Martin. That fight was about Randy Starks picking on Jonathan Martin. Richie was one to whoop his ass. Okay.
That's one of his guys.
Right, yeah. Richie was the biggest defender of Jonathan Martin, and lo and behold, you see what happened. You fucked with Jonathan Martin, Richie was gonna get you.
Yeah, but Jonathan's that kid that he brought the football to the park and then he wasn't picked, so he wanted the football back and he wanted to go home. So
I don't talk about Jonathan Martin.
He's all right. One more. I got to let you go with this, and this is my guess because obviously we're all freaking guessing now. I figured that after you practiced last week with a team and then you played a game, now you practice with the team and now you're going to play a game. I think this is going to be their dress rehearsal. They're going to first half, and then that gives them a couple of weeks to recover from everything and game plan for New England. It is. You agree?
It is.
Because he hasn't said it. It's not like he said it.
He hasn't said it, which is another reason. What the fuck? Why?
Because I'm sure he's talked with the other coach because they have to
talk with the players. X knows.
No, but I mean the other coach. The two head coaches have to have that conversation of, hey, what's your plan? My plan is to play my first team for this. Are you all right with that? Yeah, I'll play my first team and this. Because last night was a freaking disaster. New England had all their starters into the second quarter. Philadelphia didn't play anybody. They put in all their backups from the get-go. It was
if that's what you want to do to achieve your evaluation, I know this is the dress rehearsal because I haven't seen Reed Sinnett throw a fucking pass all week.
Oh, nice.
So okay. I know what and they don't have the offensive line or the receiver depth to carry to 3 units. This is going to be the dress rehearsal. Next week, you're going to be evaluating your roster.
Right, the back end of the roster.
I don't even know if Tua plays next week, to be honest.
Right, that's right, exactly. That's what makes sense to me. That
the O-line probably needs to play, but Tua, nah. I mean, and he's really running out of receivers, so
right.
What do you need to play him for? So you're gonna see a lot of tight end packages this week, and because he's got tight ends, he doesn't have receivers.
Right.
What Mac Hollins, Jakeem Grant, and Lynn Bowden Jr., who probably shouldn't even be practicing.
Right. Okay. All right. Excellent stuff as always. Follow him on Twitter at Omar Kelly. Catch his work there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. And catch him twice a week here exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. Omar, as always, have a fantastic weekend, my friend. Thank you for the great conversation.
All right, guys. All right, Big O.
You've been listening to the Ejdconstruction.com Miami Dolphins Report with Omar Kelly. For additions, home remodeling, or custom work, call Eric at 305-433-4843. Ejdconstruction.com is the custom home builder and general contractor you can trust. 305-433-4843.